till the soil. Good morning, class. Did you hear me? What did I say? So all these are things that you're doing, attending church, attending retreats, if you are not intentional about it, it will not work. Christ gives the grace, but we do the work. So value love above wealth. Invest in prayer, quality time, love, fun, and learning to be better manager of God's different gifts. It will bless your marriage. And last point, I said I was sharing 6 points. Good morning, class. You want to hear the last point? Yes. Expecting your spouse to change. Good morning, class. What did I say? And there are some people who are doing that. And there are some people whose main complaint is that he has not changed or she has not changed. If you are waiting for your spouse to change, your marriage will continue to struggle. If you are waiting for your spouse to change, your marriage will continue to struggle. It is easy to say, ni yeye ndiye ako na shida. It is their problem. But transformation begins with self. And in many cases, I dare say that our darling was and our
family balance the time commitment and effort that you have talked about with the modern work down, and then as hypothetical questions that are used for textbooks. Give us a case, either your case or something that you know, practical. As hypothetical questions that are used as a question. Okay, give to the brother. Yes, my brother.
Okay, we have spoken about successful marriage. What is the standpoint of being successful in marriage? Specific city that
the question there. Any question from this lot? Hannah. Yes. Anyone there? Okay. There. Oh yeah. Give to the column. Any column?
Especially Riro as my brother and elder brother, because it was especially Riro as my brother and elder brother, because it was they were our best couple in our marriage. Before you choose the best couple, there's something to make a decision of choosing who is to be your best couple, isn't it? Yeah. You don't just pick somebody. We saw positive values in them that we learned. Some of us, or most of us came from the village. We knew that call your girlfriend or your wife sweetheart, it's only when you are writing it in a letter. Darling, it's from these elders that we have learned these things, yeah? It's from these elders that we have learned these things, yeah? We came to Nairobi, and when somebody's saying that you step out of your car and you open for your wife's car, the door, you open the door for your wife. Ni kama kuna mambo ingine umekaliwa, But we learned it from here, especially from Elder Mzee Elder in South Church. I've forgotten the name. Arunga. We learned a lot of humility from him. He's old, but he walks out of the car softly and goes and opens the door for the wife, That's practical Christianity, isn't it? That's how we learn. We learn by seeing things, you know. And we learned, the question is, are we applying them? Yeah, I normally do it, especially when the lock has a problem that I have to come out and open it. You know. So, as we said, we want to be as practical as possible, isn't it? Question to Riro and the team that is up front here. Any couple that is seated here is willing to give us a practical example where you had a different, a sharp difference as a couple, and how did you go through it and you came out of it successfully, practically? That's question number one. Question number two, question number two, okay, to Riro and the Riros, you gave several points on how to, things that affect our marriages. I want you to pick 2 or 3, and you tell us how you have handled them in your own family. If you say that there's a challenge of social media, how have you overcome it in your family? That's now practical. If it's poor communication, how do you do it in your family? So that we again pick those examples and apply them in our lives. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll give you a chance to ask the question. There's a brother there who wants to ask a question. So your question will be the last one. Thank you. Oh, Ogata. Okay, Ogata, kwa sababu umetoka Eldoret mbali, tutakupatia one chance.
Happy Sabbath. Thank you very much. I think the elder that has just left was heading towards my question, towards my way of questioning. So let me just add to his question. How does Kevin and Faiza, my wife is Faiza, how do we sit and do a prayer and Bible study together at home as a family? Like, is it possible, I'm just asking, to have 30 minutes Bible study on a topic with my wife, the two of us? Yes, that's the how. Thank you. Then there is a bit of, you see, I think I've heard it being said that you can sit and talk as a couple on your problems or on your expectations, like you on everything. So how do you sit as a couple and talk, having a very meaningful conversation over projects, over, yeah, like, so please. Then the last one is this. It is always, and I think it was even mentioned here, that it takes the two of you to solve your problems. Then you are also told to go for counseling and seek advice. So a practical one now is that you've gone to somebody you know, and then after all this is said and done, the spouse would come back and tell you, you see, it is just us to solve it, my friend. So why is it that, okay, how do you manage after counseling and everything to still end up solving this thing, the two of you? So I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you. Your 3 hows are very complex. Some are easy. Logato, please.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and for the host. I'm very happy to be able to be here today. Mine will go to your last expectations. And I can see you said we don't expect our spouses to change. The truth is that you met the two of you from very different backgrounds, different way of thinking, but you've become one. You need to work as one, do things in a way that will help you grow together. But we don't expect them to change. How do we go about this so that we can now have that one mind, one way of doing things, and yet we don't expect them to change? Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, the format of answering the questions will be this way. The three panelists will have the first go. So you have your chance, answer any of the questions you can, and then the next person, and then the other panelists here will have the next chance to answer any part of the question or any of the questions that you'd like to give a practical aspect to. If this is 59 years, the total combined experience in this tent would be how many years? 500 plus, yes. So very significant. So let's start with you, my brother.
Family life issues can go on, and there are many questions that linger because homes are bleeding. There is a question that has been asked: how do you balance work life and marriage considering the current economic situations? Each and every one of us has to go to work. Some of us are probably posted out of town. Now, this is a question of being intentional, because no one else is going to do it for you and on your behalf. You have to be intentional to balance your work life and your marriage. Let me tell you something. I read a statement here that said that if you have a broken home, even your career will be challenged because you cannot be able to optimally deliver. So a happy home always also by default spills over to your workplace. So you have to be intentional. You have to create time for your family. Dad here said, can you create dates for yourselves? And surely, if dad can create a date with the sweetheart, so should we to be intentional to create time. Many of us will say, you know, we've got a lot of stuff to do in our interests, but I can tell you that those that have gone ahead of you in these careers will firmly tell you that tomorrow, if you are not there, your job will be taken over and perfectly done, perhaps even better than you've been doing it. So you have to be intentional with your work life and your marriage life so that you have.
What causes SDS to struggle? Number one, it's life. Life is a struggle. There's no one that does not struggle. It is part of life. But the difference is in how we manage that struggle. You know, Kenya struggled to get independence. Are we still not struggling? People struggle to be elected. Don't they still struggle? People struggle to get married. I'm telling you that struggle is part of life, but there's the positive side of things and there are the negative side of things, and that's the one I want to address. Negative side of things comes when we become unreasonable. When we are unwilling to give and take. In marriage, they will always give and take. No one is perfect in that marriage. We are both inclined by sin to upset one another. I said in my presentation that one of the most powerful things you can do is to forgive. It is the lack of forgiveness that in many cases causes us to struggle. And I think I would like to tie it up. Those who are married that side, please stand up. It is by the way you live. So continue in that journey as you saw until death do you part. That learn to forgive one another. How do you handle sharp differences? We would be pretending if we said that you have not had sharp differences. We do have them. Some, it's not a must that you always have to answer. Sometimes, even when you are hurt, take time to rethink so that you may have the right response to the one who is hurting you. Because the most highly likelihood. Hiyo kizungu namna gani? It is most likely that if you talk out of immediate emotions, you will make that disagreement from bad to worse. So listen, why were you told whatever is upsetting you? Why? Is it because you said something wrong? Or is that person just being unfair to you? Then seek God's counsel on how you're going to approach it. Because even your next question can create war. So consider how you're going to ask your next question. How are you going to say that I'm hurt? Okay? Consider that. There was one, Bible study. My elders. Now, the thing is that we men, in most cases, stand accused. We are guilty as charged. Sometimes we are not as committed to that Bible study as our ladies. And I don't understand our ladies because they come home and they still cook and they still find time for Bible study, while we find more time for newspaper and news. That one.
Difficult. Every day of your life when you live, learn to communicate everything if possible to your spouse. It makes things so easy. We make it so difficult, and the devil uses that opportunity to make marriage so hard, in that you get married and within 6 months, 1 year, you're thinking, hey, this one I can't manage anymore. Learn to communicate. It is as easy as that, especially men. Men don't like to communicate. You just do things and the wife realizes you've done something and she gets very angry, and then learn to just communicate. It doesn't make you a lesser being. It makes you actually somebody who is reflecting Christ. So learn to communicate. And when you communicate, please, as women, do not shout at your spouse. One of the things we have never done, I don't know if I should mention this, but one of the things that we also do is we have done over time. We put the other person's feelings ahead of our own. It looks like it's easier said than done. Of our own. It looks like it's easier said than done. I will give you an example. When I look at my sweetheart, if we want something done, I will look at it from his end. Because if I look at it from my end only, I will insist in direction, and we will go that, because I'm insisting it's this direction. So when we are doing something, we look at it from the other person's end, and it has really helped us solve a lot of unnecessary issues in marriage. So try to look at your issues from your part. That this is your partner. This is the person that you want to live forever with in this life if we don't die before Christ comes. So he's not our competitor, our enemy. So we try to look at things from the other perspective, and we try to accommodate as much as we can. I'll give you just a simple example, do something about it. So we had done tuition, we had seen teachers, and we were very practical in school. We were always there. And she was joking in school still, so nothing is changing. So we are like, now what do we do with this child? So we got to a point where we decided we will take her to boarding school. maybe that will help her. And she was going to class 6. So we said, we're going to take her. So we went, looked for schools, and we said, we'll take her to boarding school. But then I slept. One night I slept. Now, before we go to finalize on the school, so I slept. And my heart was very troubled. I've been that kind of a parent who wanted the children to be with us, for us to train them in the Lord until such a time when they will leave. So we had said no boarding. We had said our children are no boarding. They will stick with us till they finish Form 4, whichever time, and then they can go to campus. But now we have changed our minds. We take her to a boarding school. So I sleep, and I'm so disturbed, and I can't sleep. And I'm disturbed, and I'm disturbed. I wake up in the morning, and I say, sweetie, mtoto aendi boarding. I didn't consult. I just say, mtoto aendi boarding. We are not doing that. And he looks at me and says, you know you're spoiling this child. You see this and this is happening, and she's not changing. She needs to go out there, and let this happen. I'm like, Apana, I'm not taking my child to I've tried to sleep at night, and I couldn't sleep. I have been thinking about it. Something is disturbing my heart. I can't. So we talk about it, and we disagree. We seriously disagree. We don't shout, but we seriously disagree. Remember, it's in the morning. We are going to work. So we seriously disagreed on that. Seriously. And he was not happy that I had changed my mind. And so he carried his bag, never kissed me that morning, never gave me a hug, and left, went to work. And I was so heartbroken. And I said, can't he see myself when I'm crying? He even left without kissing me all these years. He called so many times, and eventually I said, okay, let me just speak. So I picked. He said, I'm down here. I said, where? In your office. So I went down, and of course we went for lunch. We talked about it. I cried, and we came and we came to do. Doesn't mean that we don't get to a situation where we have to never leave without sorting it.
Okay? But it can be a point of discussion tonight on how to implement it. But don't insist. I hope you understand me. I hope you want to live in peace. Thank you.
Yeah, to be consistent is very important.
1, 2, 3, up to 10, there would never be conflict in marriages, because we are human after all, and conflicts are things that are there. But what I wanted to say is the question of work-life balance, and I know that is going to come later on. That's a direct question that came out of the participants, and I'll give my example. Me and my wife, my sweetheart, and by the way, you don't just say it when you're here, it's these are things which you say at home as well. But we were confronted with a similar situation where times are tough. Both of you need to go and work and bring in income to support family. But here we were with our netball team, 4 girls, who needed to be taken care of, raised up in a responsible way. And you know what we decided to do? Family first. And we decided to put our trust in God that He's going to provide. 33 years since that happened, God has never failed us. Children went to school. They are grown up, left the home. We are empty nests. And, we thank God. So what I want to say is put your family first. Absolutely first. I mean, in everything you do, all the decisions you make, let everything revolve around your family, because that's the only question God is going to ask. Where is the flock, the beautiful flock that I gave you? So I put my family first in all circumstances, and the rest I leave to God.
Thank you so much, Elder Opuge. My name is Jared Ondieki. Dariro, I know you are looking at me. My sweetheart remained because they were going for a visitation. I know that is the question in your mind. Thank you. But I came along with Elder Nyambane and Mackenzie, dear Samuel. Allow me to say this. Thank you, Elder Muga. The Muga, for a long time, please check on what I'm doing. It has worked well. Allow me to say a few things. Many of us, when we are getting married, Kirimi, I remember we gave vows and we said, oh, we will do this as a family. Let's keep the vows that we gave to one another and to God. Example, when we were getting married, we said we'll take our children to an Adventist school. The Muga, I came and consulted you. When the time came, the Adventist school were expensive. Then what do? We said, God, we gave a vow. And for sure, we said, let them go. They've gone through the school, and at the end of the day, we thank God it was better. When you make a vow, follow what you vowed to the Lord. Number 2, Adventist marriages struggling. Allow me to go a little bit deeper from where Elder went. Why are Adventist families, marriages struggling? A few things is we are copying what the world is doing. The world is doing it this way. Let's copy it. And because we are copying what the world is doing, the world standards are taking us away. Example, this is how the world is solving their problems. We go solving it that way, including what the one who asked the question asked, including checking from social media how they are solving it. And because they are solving it that way, and could be those are people who are acting, you say they solved their marriage. Now you go with it, you crash your marriage. Number 2, there is selfishness in how we are solving those problems, and the struggles increase every day. Because of selfishness, my sister Isabella said, I want it my way. Because I want it my way, it will crash the marriage. Let it not be your way, but let there be love and submission, which is spoken in the Word of God. Number 3, it goes even deeper that we leave the church and go back to waganga. In this group where we are, kuna mtu ameenda kwa mganga. Because you want to solve your marriage. Because so and so told you so. When you go there, remember unajiua uko na ukiua familia yako. Tufunga bibi ndiye asitoroke, aende wapi? Mufunge na maombi. We went to a funeral somewhere and people were saying, I want to pray for the demons. Afunge huyu bibi asitoke hapa. How do you funga somebody with demons? Let us not go out of the word of God, including going to the traditional way of trying to solve conflicts in our families. Besides that, we say, oh, let's remain in the Bible. But we've gone to spiritism. And in it, again, we destroy our families and their struggles. But again, in African culture, you'll find that there is an extended family, including my parents, my cousins, my relatives. All these things are there. Let's see how we solve them, but still remain one as a nuclear family, but still not neglecting this other one. Elder, allow me to say a statement on this other topic, the Bible study. How do we maintain Bible study at home? Many times, as my senior Elder Kidenda said, that men, we are looked as priests of the home. That is true. But you may be a priest who is not conversant with the word of God. And my wife is more deeper in the word of God. Let us not sit on her and say, wewe unataka kunifundisha neno na mimi ndio priest. If she is more deeper in the word of God, let us allow her that she bring it up. But at the same time, let us not start from prophecy because it's prophecy. Let's start from common grounds. I might have married somebody who is not deep into this. Let's start from and allow her to have our time for prayer. Have your time for prayer. Let us come together and pray. There is deeper, much more. Thank you, Elder.
Thank you all panelists, and thank you for the experienced panel. We have to bring this session to an end. My brother reminds me that Kelvin's questions were not well addressed. Kelvin, the question of can you have practical conversations between your wife and hubby? Did you mean that women should not discuss issues of land, issues of investment? You should not discuss with them. You should just go to Mombasa, get the car. she should not participate. What we propose is have structured conversations. Maybe set agendas so that you can have it. And then I think the issue of Bible study has been addressed. And that was, can you have practical conversations? You should list the items and then have a date to discuss them. And then objectively discuss. Here, the other perspective. This is how we do it is like this. We discuss, we list the issues that are going to be discussed and we discuss them. I like to write lists so it is possible. And then Bible study he has put. Perspectives differ. Before, I was in the, how many were in the castle, the 3 a.m. prayer band? How many were there? Lillian Marwood wasn't here. So I stayed in the 3 a.m. club from 2001 to around 2008. We were in the 3 a.m. club. So after that, we went to the 4 a.m. It was moved to 4 a.m. by Nimrod Magati. So she would always wake up at 6. So I was in a different prayer with her. So the prayer was not synchronized. Now we are all in the united prayer at 6 a.m. So this one is afterwards says. So I still have the alarm for 3 a.m. Yes. I think that prayer session, Elder, please come and try to address that category and then close. Still have the alarm for 3 a.m.
They come when they have made up their mind. They have even agreed on the date of their wedding, but they don't know about the dowry. They don't know what to tell the in-laws when they arrive there. But it is important young people are mentored. And I think it is important in 15 years before you got married. You guys are doing 1 year. 1 year, and then you're getting married, and 1 year after that, you are divorcing. For me, that's a challenge. And I think our parents were also reasonable because they allowed us to bring our girlfriends home so that they can be seen, and calling them Nawanda, Korera, and all these other things. They will not even be able to know how to solve the disagreements that take place thereafter. Each other. Our families knew each other. Let us also welcome our friends, our children's friend at home. Children, when we ask you where your friend is coming from, it is in good, your friend is coming from. It is in good faith. We are not trying to discredit. Maybe we want to build that relationship. So please, young people, be friendly with their parents. That you can solve better with your mother-in-law than with your husband. But if you don't have that relationship, you've lost it. You've lost it. Men, there are certain issues that you can solve better with your father-in-law than with their spouse. Again, invest in that kind of relationship.
May I ask all the young people who are not married to please stand very quickly because I have like a minute. Those ones who are not married, I saw hands when we asked earlier. There's nothing wrong about, God is going to give you someone. Yeah. Perfect. Look, I thank Elder for all the wisdom he has given us. 47 years, Elder, 49? Over 42 years. And this is a 17, wisdom for 17 years. By the way, my husband and I didn't date for long. We dated, we met each other in January. He asked me to be his girlfriend in February. And in October, he had come to see my parents. No, he hadn't known me. We met that year, 2007. Our wedding was supposed to be at the end of the same year, but then we felt it was too close, so we pushed it to May the next year. So we didn't date for too long. But I'll tell you one thing, and why I asked you to stand. The partner that you marry plays a very important role, even in your spiritual life.